Hi Aquarius, it's Jenny here with your February Tarot Horoscope. So we're just going to be pulling a single card from my Salvador Dali Tarot deck to see what's coming up for you this February. Obviously lots of you still have birthdays this month, so happy birthday to those of you who that's still upcoming for, and happy belated birthday to those who've already had some in January. So we're just going to see what's coming up for February. Oh, there's one. Jumped right out there. Okay. We have the Hanged Man for you, Aquarius. So this is what the card looks like this way. So we have this young man, and he's hanging upside down in the branches of a tree. And there's lots of greens and blues here, and he doesn't look that distressed. He's just kind of hanging out. And we're going to see what the Hanged Man has to say for us today. This is actually a great card for you, Aquarius, because it's associated with the planet Uranus. And Uranus is the modern day ruler of Aquarius. So that's kind of a nice connection here. So here we go, the Hanged Man. Passion. At first glance, the upside down position of the Hanged Man appears to be rather grotesque. No wonder that strangeness, rapture, and the absurd are all elements of this card. But there is another important element. The Hanged Man is at peace with the world, except that his point of reference is not worldly, but transcendental. His essence is suspended in the heavenly, the transcendental, in a manner reminiscent of religious images. At the same time, the picture could be interpreted as an underwater world, a land of dreams, or an other world in which the Hanged Man is immersed. St. Francis's motto was metanoite, which can be translated as turn around and change. His symbol is St. Anthony's cross. Saul turned into Paul. Stories about shamans, sorcerers like Merlin, or gods like Odin abound, who all had to undergo severe trials, during which each experienced a transformation. On the other hand, the picture hints at inappropriate passivity, and at a person who simply hangs on. The Hanged Man believes in the thing to which he is attached, and he is attached to what he believes. How tragic it would be if the belief turned out to be superstition. It is important to evaluate your own belief system, which may often involve turning everything upside down and completely changing your own point of view. Practical advice: reassess your own beliefs and presumptions. If you have found your belief system to be valid, do not hesitate to place the utmost confidence in it. A meaningful faith and a purposeful passion are a great boon. Okay, so this card has a lot of very natural Aquarian energy, that being not going with the flow, an attachment to your own beliefs, even if that waves in the face of usual convention or the way most people are doing things. There's this like upside down kind of topsy-turvy sort of feeling, and it is pretty typical, archetypical of Aquarius to be the standout, to be the unique, the innovator, the rebel, when everybody else is kind of staying on the status quo. So there's a very natural Aquarian kind of vibe here to the Hanged Man, but it's deeply attached to values and to the passion that you feel towards that which you value, and that you structure your belief systems around your values. And so it's not just a matter of being a rebel just because you want to be cool, or sometimes there's the tendency to see what other people are doing and just want to be different just to be different, not because there's an actual value you are chasing, that there's something that you truly believe in that is different than other people, in which case you are chasing your values and you're putting your passion in something else that is unique. Whereas if you're just rebelling, it's that kind of like it's like the difference between a magnetism, where two magnets, or like the polarized ends of magnets, attract to each other, and if you reverse them, they repel. So it's a different motivation to be repelled by something, that kind of negative pushing away from something, versus being magnetized towards something. So it's normal to have both. It's normal to look at things that we don't like and be repelled by them, and then to look at the things that we have passion for and be magnetized towards them. But there can be, oftentimes it's easier to find that which we don't like and repels us than it is to actually have a strong passion for a value system and be drawn towards something. So the risk for you, well, the risk for everybody, but you in particular, Aquarius, because of that tendency to look for the unique and to really not want to stay in with the crowd is to only be repelled by people and only be repelled by anything that's mainstream, and just find the concept of conformity repelling without looking at the thing that people are conforming to and deciding if that is something you believe in or not. So you might find you have a belief that you actually really value and see that other people and the collective values it too, and therefore you get repelled because you don't want to conform instead of because you don't actually believe it, instead of being magnetized to your values no matter who is attached to it. So like that whole concept of the hipster who only likes things that aren't cool, and as soon as other people get on and find value in it, then they have to find something else in order to prove their uniqueness. So focusing on your beliefs as being a passion to your values is unrelated to what anybody else is thinking or feeling, whether nobody holds that value and then you are on your own in it, or whether everybody holds that value, in which case great, we've all come up with a value that we really all hold dear. So, and then we can all be like attached and holding on to this value together. So when you are reviewing your belief systems, as this card is suggesting, is really looking at and not just hanging passively to a value that we've had either because we've always had it or somebody told us to, or even the whole concept of we just grabbed that value because everybody else was doing something different. You really want to examine and make sure that what you are attached to and what you are hanging on to is valid and is still in line with your passions, and then reassess. I'm going to try not to beat the dead horse on this one, but make sure that what you are choosing or choosing away from has to do with what you want, not based on sorry, there's a pretty bird out the window. I just got very distracted. And not just in reaction or rejection to other people. It's kind of that whole rebellious teenager thing, is rebelling against authority, but you need to have a good reason to. Like as a teenager, you rebel against authority because you're learning how to have your own autonomy and learning how to challenge what had been an absolute authority when you were a child. It is good, and in that stage, it wasn't really that big of a deal to kind of rebel against everything because you were just trying it out. But now you really want to make sure that you have purpose in your rebellion and purpose in your searches for autonomy, or purpose in what values you are connecting to, and not still just lashing out in this kind of teenage angsty kind of way. So that's a kind of a lot to throw in there. So this may be quite thematic for the first kind of 2/3 of February, where we are still in Aquarius season. And it might be, but because you as an Aquarius, this might be something that you're kind of always wrestling with in your life, of your value systems, trying to be different from the crowd, trying to innovate, having people kind of denigrate you for being different or reject you or ostracize. That might be kind of the energy you work with a lot. But since we're in Aquarius season right now, everybody is dealing with this energy, and they might not be as, I don't want to say skilled, but as practiced. Like this might be a new energy for them. And so you might find that there's a lot of what might be erratic behavior of everybody just searching for freedom, rebelling against everything, really sussing out their values, trying to decide that, and kind of ricocheting all over the place because suddenly everybody is faced with these concepts. And so it's important for you, again, to not get too distracted by everybody changing their value systems and just focus on what it is that you really truly believe. And then if you so choose, you can be a bit of a more experienced player for other people that are examining these things perhaps the first time, or they are really wanting to step out and step away from the crowd, really wanting to innovate, but they're still very scared of being rejected by the group, and they're still really nervous of standing out. And you might come into somebody's life as a somebody who's a little bit more experienced with standing out, someone who's a little bit more experienced with being different, and kind of let them know that it's safe, or whether or not it's safe, it's worthwhile, that there is value. And even though there can be the discomfort or the loneliness of being different, that if you are being different because of a true passion for a different value and a different belief, that is a truly worthwhile and wonderful thing, and that you paradoxically don't actually have to be alone when you do that. So there's a way in which, even though we are looking at our singular core beliefs unrelated to what other people think, the last third of February is rolling into Pisces season. And Pisces is all about collective energy. It's all about empathy and what is good for the whole, and really about kind of pulling the veil on the illusion that we are just individuals. We are individuals. We incarnate as singular beings. We have boundaries, but we are individuals in an ecosystem. We are individuals in a family, in a society, in a culture. And whether or not you have issues with your family, your culture, your government, your nation, whatever it is, whether there's frictions there, we are still beings in community, and it is on us to make that community as healthy and beautiful and supporting as possible. So yes, it does start with our individual values and belief systems, because you can't be effective if you don't know what you are about. But it can't end there. It's not useful, and it's not very healthy to simply work out your values for yourself and then run away from the group and have your own little solo, I believe this and nobody else is allowed in my clubhouse. It's, I know what I am about. Let me come and bring that energy to the world. Let me bring what I believe to support others and to support and care and love others, and let me help mentor other people to learn about their own values, so that we can all come together collectively and share our fears and our values in this very Piscean way, which is now we really are just one sort of so we're all here on the planet together as one experience. And I'm getting very kind of hippie little love here, but when we get to Pisces season, we're all kind of hippie one love kind of vibe. But we set the stage by still remaining individuals, very strong in our values. So I'm gonna try to pull back into the card here and get off of my strong beliefs on having beliefs, and to see if there's anything else in the card in particular. Yeah, I suppose just, again, that reminder that we're assessing our beliefs, but assessing our beliefs is not a mandatory turnover of beliefs. So we're saying, if you found your belief system to be valid, don't hesitate to place confidence in it. You may be doing this assessing and being like, no, I'm good. I still have the values I have. They're still really working with me. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. Assessment is just, it's not out with the old, in with the new. It's just, is things still working? Am I still in alignment and integrity? Is this still true for me? Or was this true for me when I was a certain way and now I am different? So it's that, yeah, if it still works for you, hold on to it, but make sure to not just be holding on to your beliefs out of inertia because you're here and it's worked for you, and then you are just hanging in this tree as this hangman just kind of there. So that's, yeah, just making sure that it's actually what's valuable for you right now. Yeah, I think that's okay. The only other bit I was going to talk about was that bit about transformation, that the shamans or sorcerers or Merlins and Odins of the stories, where there were trials that initiated transformation. A lot of the times we have trials that become a test of our belief system. So it's kind of like, if you learn your lessons in class, there's then an exam at the end. So you may be examining, okay, this is my belief, this is what I'm holding on as a value system, and then all of a sudden it gets really shaked and tested. You have people you really, really value and trust come in with a counter thing that they actually don't agree with you, and you have to decide, do I really agree with what I think? Is this really what I want? Or just some sort of other calamity or some unexpected thing that comes in and that's suddenly very topical to your beliefs, and it tests you and it shakes you. And it may shake you because what you thought you valued actually really isn't. And then that trial is what really breaks it apart, and you realize, no, I have to detach from this tree. I have a different belief system, and it's really uncomfortable to get you there. Or it might be that testing, the weathering of, do you have a strong foundation? Do you truly believe this when it gets difficult, or do you only believe it when it's easy? And then then you test that and you say, no, this is the rock of my foundations right now. I don't care what others think or what these trials are showing me. I'm going to stand in this very firmly. And then that is a transformation in and of itself to be tested in your values. So That's the sort of thing where maybe expect that there might be, especially still in this Aquarius first chunk of February, or kind of mid-February, if there's like, ooh, something that kind of rocks you and challenges you, just like use that as this is the exam, this is the test, this is checking to see, making sure that your foundations are strong, and if nothing cracks, then you can roll over into Pisces season really confident in your values, and then you get to lean into the community. Look up out of your own sort of concerns and now take that newfound strength and tested belief system and inject value into your community at large. So that's what I've got for you for February. Sounds like lots is going on, pretty potent here, and it still being Aquarius season, you are probably going to be a pretty strong leader in this time right now. So happy birthday to all of you. Best of luck searching out your passions and your values, Aquarius.